Greetings, programs! How is everyone this evening? This is the finale of the Tofu Topple tournament. I also figured I'd gotta get in the spirit, because Halloween's coming up soon. So this is the finale of the Tofu Topple tournament. It's been going on for a month or two now, since the previous announcement of it all. Had 16 entrants, and they have been battling it out over the weeks. Which brings us to today, where we are going to have the actual finale. So right now there are 4 competitors left. There is the winner's bracket has 2 remainers, so this is the finals of the winner's bracket, and the semifinals of the loser's bracket. Hop right over here so we can take a look at it. I'd like to do a quick recap of the tournament as we have gone so far. To some guys, there were originally 15. We had one late applicant that I allowed because we were short one to have a solid thing, and he wasn't able to apply until the last minute. So, due to the nature of the tournament is it's a 16 participant bracketed tournament with a loser's bracket. And it's seeded. So for the seed, I had everyone play a round of the new bonus mode, where you clear as many gems as you can while also clearing out attack gems that come in. And let me know your high score. That determined your seed. I felt like this was a somewhat accurate seed, since being able to clear out both gems and many types of garbage are both important to being skillful at the game. This is not, however, the same as actually playing against a live opponent. So you will see a few mix-ups in seed over the course of the tournament. But as a quick recap, so also due to the nature of seeded tournament, there are some unfortunate seed pair-ups early on, but it will even out over the course of the tournament. So in the winner's bracket, looking just up here, so all 16 participants started in the winner's bracket. And we started with Wim, who is the number 1 seed, against Garabel, who's the number 16 seed. And as one would assume, Wim won that round. We had Nita Shinori versus We Hate Win. Nita Shinori, the 8 seed, versus We Hate Win, the 9 seed. And despite having the lower seed, We Hate Win actually won that round. We had Uri, the number 5 seed, and James Lynn, the number 12 seed. Uri won that one. We have Super Dragonite, who I will refer to as Draco from pretty much here on out because it's easier to say. Draco, the number 4 seed, and Ethan, the number 13 seed. Draco won that one. Solas, the number 3 seed, versus an actual idiot, the number 14 seed. Solas won that one. We had Mark Shaw VA, the number 6 seed, and Mintwinter, the number 11 seed. Mintwinter won that one despite having a somewhat significantly lower seed. We have the 23rd Minotaur, the number 7 seed, and Qleo, the number 10 seed. Again, despite being a lower seed, Qleo actually won that match. And then finally we have Some Guy, the number 2 seed, and SGX99, the number 15 seed, with Some Guy taking the win. So the losers of this first round all were moved to the losers bracket, where we then have to have a losers bracket round. So of that, we had Garibel, the 16 seed, against Nita Shinori, the 8 seed. Nita Shinori won that one. We have James Lin, the number 12 seed, and Ethan, the number 13 seed. Despite being the lower seed, Ethan won that one. An Actual Idiot, number 14, versus Mark Shaw, VA, number 6. Mark Shaw won that one. And 23rd Minotaur, number 7, versus SGX, number 15, with the 23rd Minotaur winning. So that's the entire first round. In the second round now... Oh, yeah, just called you Nita. All right. In the second round, the winners bracket, which is the winners from the first round, we have Wim, the number 1 seed, going up against We Hate Win, the number 9 seed, with Wim taking the win. We have Uri, the number 5 seed, against Draco, the number 4 seed, with Draco taking the win. We have Solas, the number 3 seed, versus Mint Winter, the number 11 seed, with Solas taking the win. And we have Culio, the number 10 seed, versus Some Guy, the number 2 seed, with Some Guy taking the win. Now, the losers of this were once again brought down to the losers bracket, where they paired off against the winners of the previous round of the losers bracket. And this then left us with Nita, the number 8 seed, against Culio, the number 10 seed, with, despite the seed difference, Culio winning. We have Ethan, the number 13 seed, versus Mint Winter, the number 11 seed, with Mint taking the win. We have Mark Shaw, the number 6 seed, versus Uri, the number 5 seed, with Uri taking the win. And we have the 23rd Minotaur, number 7 seed, versus We Hate Win, the number 9 seed, with the 23rd Minotaur taking the win. Now, due to the nature of the winners bracket and the losers bracket, there are actually more matches in the losers bracket than there are in the winners bracket, which means there are two times here and here where we had to have a losers bracket only round. So the winners in the losers bracket from the previous round then went up against each other, which is Culio, the number 10 seed, versus Mint, the number 11, with Mint taking the win, despite being the lower seed. And then we have Uri, the number 5 seed, versus Minotaur, the number 7 seed, with Uri taking the win. Back to the winners bracket, where we have the winners from the previous round, where we have Wim, the number 1 seed, against Super Dragonite, or Draco, the number 4 seed, and we have Solas, the number 3 seed, and Some Guy, the number 2 seed. Wim beating Draco, and Some Guy beating Solas. And then the losers here were moved to the losers bracket, where they played against the winners from the previous bracket, which gives us now Mint, the 11 seed, versus Draco, the number 4 seed, with Draco taking the win. And then we have Uri, the number 5 seed, with Solas, the number 3 seed, with Solas taking the win. So now we are down to Wim against Some Guy in the finals of the winners bracket, and Draco against Solas in the semifinals of the losers bracket. So tonight we're going to start, assuming everyone is here. I see Draco, Wim, and Some Guy. I do not see Solas in the chat, unless Solas is using a different name. But I would like to begin tonight with Draco against Solas. And that brings us to the Vidge games. So I am going to be spectating all of these. However, you can handle this match however you like as far as who you want hosting or what have you. However, I would, for these final matches, prefer it be at least a best of 5. And make sure to declare any banned characters before the match begins. So since I want to spectate the match, I am unable to host the room, so I will have to ask for one of the 2 participants to actually host the room. Again, this is Solas against Draco. I think everyone is here. Oh, there we are. Alright. Draco's in. As soon as Solas joins, I will swap out. There we are. So Draco against Solas. This is for the semifinals of the losers bracket and will determine who plays against the loser from the winners bracket. Yeah, I would like it to at least be a best of 5. However, if you want to ban any characters, you are free to. As long as everyone agrees. Alright. Looks like best of 5 with the normal quota, and all characters are allowed. Oh, I forgot the quota too. You can also set the quota to be whatever you want it to be. However, I would advise against very low quotas. I know the fan game mode of a quota of 1 can be enjoyable, but it's not necessarily a test of skill. Alright, Draco and Solas. Draco going with Yuki and Solas with Karen. So Yuki's attack gem tends to fill up and isn't the strongest in early game since there aren't as many of them, but as they build up, more and more of your points are going to be going to the opponent. Whereas Karen is kind of a problem all the time and requires you to play somewhat low so you can get rid of the gems. I know there will be some desyncs, but the match does occasionally fix itself. So we see Solas taking an early win, or not an early win, but an early lead. Does not appear to have been terribly inconvenienced by Yuki's attack gems yet. Since Yuki's attack gems start lower, as long as you play high and finish the match early, they're not as big of a threat. Okay, so the first win goes to Solas. This is a best of 5 again, so they're also free to change characters. Solas going with Karen again, realizing an advantage. Okay, Karen against Karen. Yeah, unfortunately Karen does force you to play very low, which means you have a much harder time building up building up combos and such. Oh, and I just saw Solas grab all of Karen's gems, drop them on the bottom, and then immediately raise the bars. Or raise the gems up. A mistake I've made several times. Solas still pulling ahead, but Draco doing much better this round. I suppose that shows Solas knows how to deal with most attack gems, then. And a second win for Solas. I'm surprised Karen is as terrifying as she is. Though I suppose this tournament has brought out an amount of higher tier knowledge about how powerful characters are. So Solas with 2 wins so far. This is a best of 5. So one more win will win it for Solas. That does not mean it is impossible for Draco to come back. Yeah, and apologies, some guy. The net code for this is made of tissue paper and dreams. Okay, gentleman's agreement to not play as Karen for the remaining rounds. All characters are fine, but the same person can't pick the same character twice. Okay, Solas going with Morgana and Draco going with Meat Bun. Both of these gems are very good stall gems, with Morgana's gems never going away on their own. You have to explicitly make a match near them, which is not an easy task on its own. However, if you can finish the match quickly, you can just kind of pile the gems on one side and ignore them for a while. Meat Bun, on the other hand, Meat Bun's gems do go away on their own, and you can hurry them along. However, while they exist, it effectively blocks off that entire column from you interacting with it. Which, if you don't want to hurry the timer up, which again requires some explicit effort on your own part, then that quickly limits how fast you can move. And that is a 3rd win for Solas. So of the best of 5, the winner goes to Solas. So I am going to go ahead and mark that and update the brackets. Thank you all very much, by the way, for coming out to this. And thank you to everybody for playing, but also thank you for everyone who was participating coming in so we could do this finale all at once. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and back out. So that was Draco against Solas. Draco being the number 4 seed, Solas being the number 3 seed, and Solas taking the win. So before we can continue on in the loser's bracket, we have to do a round in the winner's bracket. This is technically the finals of the winner's bracket, which is some guy against Whim. This is the number 1 and number 2 seed. So this is going to be an exceptional fight. Yeah, and if this tournament has brought out some information about higher level play and how the game affects it, then I can always go back and maybe in a future patch, I can make a modification to Karen, possibly. Oh, and thank you very much, Wim. I know we're staying up kind of late for you. So some guy against Wim. Once again, I suggest at least a best of 5, otherwise the rules are up to you. Yeah, have Karen's gems eliminate just how I could have them dig faster, though I almost wonder if that would make them more powerful. Okay, it looks like they're going a Tofu Mirror. Ooh, 150 and raising the quota by, or 150 and raising the quota by 50 each match. Interesting. And I will say, depending on how the losers bracket goes, this may not be the last we see of either of them. And, of course, I want to have a nice, fair, happy match for everybody. So, if I know I programmed this game myself, it is not perfect and bug-free. If by chance something happens and you feel like you were cheated out of a match, you can certainly request a do-over. And if your opponent agrees, then that is a thing that we can do. Okay, so Tofu's gem. Tofu's gem is relatively easy to get rid of. It's kind of a mix, a well-balanced gem. It's relatively easy to get rid of, but also stalls relatively well. You get rid of it by squishing it. Because tofu is soft. That's how it works. You do that by putting a number of normal blocks on top of it, which, once you have, I believe, 3, it will squish them down. And the win goes to some guy, who started out playing quite high. Oh, I have my cursor on the screen. Okay, we're all back in, and that's 1 win for some guy. Wim, by the way, I said is the number 1 seed. His seed was, I believe, more than 1,100. Absolutely ridiculously high seed. I didn't even know it was possible to get that high. I'm not sure even the extra mode AI can get that high. I forget the exact seed. If clicking away doesn't crash the game. It was nearly 1100. The seed that he submitted was 1077, though I think later on he did message me that he had achieved 1100. The pillarmen of this game. Yes, Wim had a seed of more than 1,000, and some guy had a seed of more than 800, nearly 900. Almost every other seed in the game was around, like, 2 to 500. So absolutely absurdly high seeds. My own best, by the way, is like 300. All right, some guy and Wim going for another mirror match. I believe the seed is now 200. Oh, Naka is also problems. Yes, the quota is 200, not the seed. All these matches are randomly seeded. That's how this works. Both players are given the same seed, which means they will always have gems generated in the same order. Wim, you are not Naka. You got changed to Tofu just a second ago. Yeah, leaving the room just to make sure. If need be, we can always restart the room. That's a good way to clean the slate. So the Naka's attack gem, when thrown, immediately destroys all gems in the 2 columns next to that gem. Or next to where you threw it. This is not infinitely high, so if you throw it very high, it will only destroy the top, I forget how many gems. 5 or so? I believe with the case of Naka's gem, you can stack them and throw them, and it will effectively negate all of the gems that are above the bottom one. Relatively good idea, relatively easy thing to do is to keep one very high stack, so you can throw, or throw against the edge of the playing field, so one of the attacks is completely off-field. And that's another win for some guy. Have my cursor on the field again. Top out. You can top out in this game, though I did not. Unlike most competitive puzzle games like this, I did not intend for that to be your goal. Though it is still possible, if you either aren't moving fast enough or not paying attention. Yeah, I haven't had much opportunity to comment on the actual matches since I've been commenting on the actual attack gems each one uses. Bomberman. A meat bun mirror match, then. Or Whim, maybe wanting to go with a... Go with a more favored character to stay in the game. Morgana's gem, having to make a match next to it in order to clear the attack gems, which then turns them into normal gems. Morgana's gems actually works the most like a traditional... Words fail me sometimes. Works the most like a traditional attack gem in this kind of game. The kind of thing that you would simply send a mountain of over to your opponent. Whim pulling a relatively early lead. See if he can keep it up. Keeping the garbage clean. Some guy still has some laying on the field. Either he's avoiding it and hoping to get some damage in, or hoping to get rid of it all at once. Though it's starting to fill the field. Ah, there we go. Back to regular gems. Which then filled the field for some guy, giving him the opportunity to do a lot of matches with regular gems to clear the field out. Whim's still relatively clean and getting close. And that is Whim, still in the game. Clearing all of Morgana's gems at once, as long as their existence doesn't slow you down too much, is actually a pretty good idea, as that will reduce the number of points that go to your opponent, I think, and could leave you with a lot of regular gems, and if you're good at matching the regular gems and clearing them out quickly, that'll give you a chance to send a lot to your opponent in response to their attack. So 3 matches in, Whim still in the game. An ogre mirror match, perhaps? That is... So, a mirror match for ogre. I believe the quota will be 300 this time, if they're increasing by 50 each time. Ogre's attack gem is... It functions much like a normal gem, but a normal gem that changes its color periodically. So, in order to clear it, you have to clear it like you would clear a normal gem. By making a total of 3 matches with an appropriate color. So if Ogre's gem is yellow, then you do need to match it with at least 2 other yellows in order to get rid of it. I believe Ogre's Gem can match with itself. However, there has to be at least... I forget if there can be one or two. I forget if there has to be one or two normal gems. At least one real gem. Okay. It's been a while. I know I made the game, but it's been a while. It is also two colors simultaneously, which makes it a little bit easier to time. Personally, I'm very bad at dealing with Ogre's Gem. I kind of let them pile up, and then I grab the match for it, and then I just watch and wait for it to be the appropriate color. Ogre's Gems can be cleared out quite quickly if you're aware of his gem's color, kind of in the background, and can respond quickly to it. So you can just continue making your own matches, and when it happens to be red and you happen to have a red in you, just real quick clear them out. I am very bad at that. I hope both of you can hold out. This isn't even the end. Both of you still have matches to go after this. This is the finals of the winner's bracket, but it is not the finals overall. This is probably closer to the semi-finals overall. And the loser, of course, still has a chance to come back. $350 does get to be quite a high quota. Oh, also I had been working on Chocobo's witch hat for the past couple days. I was trying to hurry to get it done for this stream. All right, and we're off. With a quota of 300. Going above 300 does get to be kind of rough. So that's understandable. Oh. Did some guy just top out? I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe we should do that match over again. I'm willing to bet Ogre's garbage fell down, putting it to the very top, and then some guy advanced gems once. I'm willing to bet that's what happened. I will leave this up to you two, to some guy in Whim. If you want to hold that as a redo, we can absolutely do that. Yeah, it was a top-out. However, it was almost the very first thing that happened in the match. Like, I don't know if I would call that a match, per se, which is why I'm offering. Kind of the... Hey, I was advancing gems right at the very beginning and accidentally held the button down one too long because my nerves are going. That... But as long as the both of them are okay with it. And Wim gave his okay. It was technically still a legitimate win, so if Wim was not okay with that, then the win would still go to Wim. Yeah, and this can be very nerve-wracking. I remember when I was playing Magical Drop 5, when I was playing that either on stream or for videos or what have you. I remember when I was playing that, my nerves would go over the course of it. And by the end, I'd be shaking so much that it would be very difficult for me to... It'd be very difficult for me to continue playing. I explicitly remember a moment where I had to stop and walk away and let my nerves calm down. Doesn't help any, I'm not very good at this. So let's all take a break, calm our nerves. We can't just blow through this back to back. Opponent. Honestly, I'm a little shaky myself. Even though I'm not playing. And I think it's because, A, I'm hosting, and this is my tournament, and this is an important thing, and also because I haven't eaten dinner. Has Magical Drop 6 been announced? Not that I've heard of. I made this game because I was disappointed in Magical Drop 5's netcode. Magical Drop 6 has been announced? Oh, heck yeah! Who's making it? Because I'm pretty sure the company that made 5 went under. This would be like a redemption arc for Magical Drop. Yeah, I was disappointed in Magical Drop 5's netcode, and then instead I was disappointed in Construct's netcode. Okay, while everybody's resting for a second, I'm gonna look at that. Magical Drop 6. Give me the news. Announced for Switch. Developers Highball Games and Storm Trident. So 2 different developers? And published by Forever Entertainment. That's like nobody even remotely connected to Magical Drop 5. I would absolutely love to get some insight as to what went on here. Okay, so Highball Games. Highball Games is a subsidiary of Forever Entertainment, the publisher. And Storm Trident is also a subsidiary of Forever Entertainment. So this is effectively made by Forever Entertainment. Forever Entertainment, video game publisher and developer, headquarters in Gdynia, Poland. I did not pronounce that correctly. It is known for the Panzer Dragoon remake and the House of the Dead remake. So it seems like mostly what they have done is remakes. In that regard, I suppose we can expect Magical Drop 6 to be very loyal to the originals. I don't know enough about the remakes that they've done to know if they're complete remakes, or if they're super loyal remakes, like same game, fresh coat of paint, or if it's the reimagining. Okay, we good? Break time over? If everyone is ready, we can begin. They're mainly graphical upgrades. Okay, so this may be one of their first proper games on their own. Though, in that regard, they may be just making a game that's very loyal to the original magical drops. I'm very sorry, Barry. I'll eat something after this round. Okay, back at it again. Women, some guy, and an ogre mirror match. Lowering the quota to 250, everyone's nerves are on edge, understandably. So Ogre's Gems used to function very similar to Morgana's Gems, where they both have to have a match made next to them in order to clear them. And I always kind of paired those two up. Morgana's Gems differentiated themselves by leaving gems in their wake once cleared. I believe that happened once I determined that Morgana's Gems actually needed a bit of a buff. Ogre's real power is his theme. Absolutely. And that is a win for Whim. So we mulliganed the previous match, which means they are now 2-2. Ignore the third win on Whim's side. Which means this last match is sudden death. Whoever wins this wins the round. Not for all the marbles. Because this is effectively the semifinals. We aren't quite done yet. Though, due to the nature of the losers bracket, it will be a fight to beat the winner. Well, some guy, you can take a break after this. Hope to at least place second. First and second place when you have a loser's bracket, or even in regular bracketed matches, is kind of difficult to place. You could kind of say you've already placed second. Yeah, already at least third. Technically, I suppose, yes. Because the loser of this will go to the loser's bracket, where I suppose if they lose there, that would make them third place. Okay, Meat Bun against Meat Bun. Quota of 200, the standard quota. The winner of this is the winner of the round. Have I been calling them rounds? So Meat Bun's gems are largely stall gems. You can speed them up, but especially when there are multiple of them, that becomes difficult to do. They stall by... You can minimize the damage that they do. But largely, they block off the columns that you can be active in. Is if someone sends, say, 4 garbage over to your opponent, that means until those bombs are detonated, you only have 3 rounds that you can be active in. And the winner is Whim. And that now means going undefeated across the winner's bracket. The winner of the winner's bracket is Whim. Thank you very much, both of you. I am going to real quick update the brackets. That means that Whim is the winner of the winner's bracket, and Some Guy is now moved to the loser's bracket, where he's going to be playing against Solas. Some Guy's nerves are a bit shot, whereas Solas is going to be coming in relatively fresh. Solas being the number 3 seed. And Some Guy mentions having a relatively close match against Solas earlier. This is actually going to be a rematch between Some Guy and Solas. So, since Some Guy's nerves are relatively shot, as are mine, and I am quite hungry, I say we all take a brief break, come back in, let's say, 10 minutes? Have a nice intermission, and we can move on to the actual final matches. There we have the brackets. And I will be back momentarily. I'm back. Okay, I gorged myself on pretty much anything I could find. I'm probably going to eat more once the whole thing is done. Okay, so I'll give everybody a little bit more time. I think the 10 minutes are nearly up, but better to be well rested and ready to go. So in the stream so far, as a quick recap, we started with the, I guess you could say, the semifinals. Started with the semifinals of the losers bracket, which was Draco against Solas, with Solas taking the win. And then we moved to Wim and Some Guy in the finals of the winners bracket, with Wim taking the win. And what a fight that was. A sub since you were 14 years old. Gee. Depending on how long that's been, that could be as long as... I mean, you could be an adult now. So Wim's win in the winner's bracket. Oh, you are absolutely an adult now. Good to have you around for so long, though. Alright, with Wim taking the win in the winner's bracket then, that puts Some Guy down to the loser's bracket. And that means that what we are doing next is the finals of the loser's bracket, which is going to be Solas, our previous winner, against Some Guy. Hello, Muffin. Muffin, I love you so much, but not now. Muffin, please. Okay. I'm sorry, Muffin. I'll cuddle you more later. Okay, so I am advocating for at least a best of 5. Hey! Thanks, Wim! Oh, that was the YouTube membership. So I am advocating for at least a best of 5 and at least advice of a quota of a reasonably sized quota. Otherwise, the rules are up to the players if they want to either suggest banning characters or what have you. Okay, so best of 5, normal quota. Some Guy and Wim tended to do mirror matches. Can't play the same character twice in a row. That sounds fair. So you have to mix it up. You can't take advantage of Hey, I found something somebody's bad at. Let me just keep prodding them with that. Yeah, Leia, I am doing my best. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but it's my best. Alright, so Karen against Morgana. Now, we've seen both of these characters play before. So this is Some Guy and Solas. This is actually a rematch. They faced each other in the winner's bracket a while back. So Some Guy deciding to pile up the Morgana gems to get rid of them all at once. Solas keeping up surprisingly well, despite that he let the Karen gems stack up so high. Now, in the previous match against Some Guy and Solas, they had mentioned that it was a very close match. It was I believe it was a best of 5, 3v2. So no matter what happens here, this is not going to be the end of it. Some Guy pushing to the end, ignoring the blocks, and we have it. Some Guy taking the first win. Now, Leia, I swear I've seen you around before. I don't know if you either show up to streams or if... Well, this is YouTube. I may have seen you comment. We tend to have pretty regular commenters, so I start to recognize names after a while. Alright, Some Guy, take a breath. Don't let your nerves do you in. Adept Rogue, I think I've seen that name before. Okay, Morgana and Naka. So, Some Guy opting for Morgana. Hoping to stall Solas, slow him down. Hoping he won't be able to deal with the leftover regular gems as well. Solas going with Naka. Hoping to force Some Guy to give him a lot of score back. Some Guy still in the lead for the moment. So Solas seems to be clearing out Morgana's gems fairly quickly. They're both trying to clear out garbage very quick. And there we are, a second win for some guy. Alright, some guy, and Solas too. Stay strong. Breathe, stretch. Barry, I am surprised you're listening over there. Alright, Naka and Karen then. Naka and Karen, two characters we've seen before. So Solas with Karen means some guy actually has to change up and start playing relatively low. This could be damaging to some guy, because some guy typically enjoys playing very high, putting a lot of time into setting up combos and things. So Karen is probably going to be pretty strong. He's handling it like a champ, though. The Naka Gems, sending plenty of points back to some guy. Right near the end. And there we are. I was expecting some guy to just push right through. But that is a win for some guy. That was very good. That was very good. Even though some guy won all 3 games, all of them were very good. Now, I was expecting at the very end some guy to just completely ignore garbage blocks and, like, just make a couple matches real quick. Instead, when he was at 199, he was busy organizing the garbage gems, and I believe it was actually a Naka gem that gave him the win. Alright. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Solas. Are we doing okay with the hurricane? We're fine. We're fine. Nothing meaningful made it to us. Oh, if Wim has just joined the room... then I suppose we can just stay in this room. I do not remember if Wim has had trouble hosting matches before. I don't know if you two wanted to swap host or what. Or just keep going with some guy. Who hosts shouldn't matter too much, since the individual gameplay is all handled locally. Okay, I am going to real quick open or update the brackets. Once again, thank you very much, Solas. Okay, so the match gets interesting at this point due to the nature of a loser's bracket. Because what we have now is Whim against some guy, who is the winner of the winner's bracket and the winner of the loser's bracket. And since this is, I say loser's bracket, but it is technically called double elimination, which means you need to be taken out twice in order to be completely removed from the tournament. So some guy, already being in the loser's bracket, if he loses to Whim at this point, then Whim is declared the winner. However, if some guy wins, Whim is technically only moved to the loser's bracket, where some guy and Whim then have to play again to determine the final winner. So what that means from here is, even though the final matches are going to be between Whim and some guy, it is an uphill fight for some guy, as he has to beat Whim twice in order to get the final win. So despite that this is double eliminations, this does mean this is the overall finals. This is the grand finals. So good luck to both of you. I will, honestly, at this point, I'm not even going to say, like, make sure it's best of 5 or the quota or whatever. Have fun. You guys got this far. Do whatever it is that you want to do. Best of 99, quota 1. Oh, that'd be a good fight, though. Alright, so they're setting the quota to 200. So ignore the 3 wins on some guy's side right now, since we're simply using the same room from the previous match. So we're bringing out Isami and Morgana. Morgana we've seen before, Isami we have not. So Isami's blocks all function very similarly to Naka's blocks, whereas when Naka's blocks are thrown, they destroy the gems in the 2 columns on either side of the gem. Isami's gems, similarly, when thrown, destroy the 3 adjacent blocks. Hey, they're playing on Venus. Sorry, I got a bunch of gunk in my throat because I'm Because I'm commentating. And I just ate a bunch. Sorry about that. Okay, so Isami's blocks function very similarly in that when they fall, they destroy the 3 adjacent blocks. However, unlike Naka's gems, that is a win for whim. Win for whim. However, unlike Naka's blocks, if they're thrown on a flat surface or on a single gem, they will only destroy the 1 gem. However, instead of the Naka's gems, something glitched on your end? We can have a redo that, and Whim is having trouble reconnecting. Yeah. Okay, muted my mic to get a real good clear in. I think... No, some guy, that is... We're not going to take that one. If there was a glitch. I may suggest restarting the room. Just to make sure everybody's on a clean slate. Yeah, I think I'm having problems too. Well, it got there eventually. Alright, so as I was saying, Isami's gems. On one hand, they are less dangerous than Naka's gems, because you can throw them onto a flat surface or a peaked surface in order to deplete their... or in order for them to be less effective. Whereas Naka's gems will do a significant amount of damage in that situation. However, they're also more dangerous than Naka's gems, because if you stack a bunch of Naka gems together and throw them all, really only the bottom one does any actual damage. Whereas Isami's gems, on the other hand, do kind of a 1-2 punch. Only the bottom gem will actually break, and the higher gems will then fall and hit again. A poorly placed stack of Isami's gems can clear out 3 entire columns, with no height limit. So they are easier to deal with, but also more dangerous. Alright, the match begins again. Now some guy's on the right, Whim is on the left, because Whim is now hosting. I guess using the single pickup on Isami's gems to make sure that you only throw down one instead of throwing the entire stack down. If you are careful, you can throw the entire stack down and then pick the remainder back up to throw them back down. That is, one way or the other, it is kind of buying you time. Also, if you throw down a single fist... if you throw down a single fist on the top, it will actually chain react to all the fists underneath. And that is the win for Whim. Which I intentionally wanted that to happen. Though maybe it would be more... Maybe Isami wouldn't be quite as... I feel like Isami is somewhat underpowered. We haven't seen Isami at all this entire contest. Or at least in the finals. And I wonder if that's because if you pick up a single Isami gem and throw it on top of another one, then effectively only the bottom one works. I wonder if I could change that so if you throw one on top of a stack, only the bottom one triggers. I have no idea how I would do that. Alright, round 1 to Whim. Rhina has also not shown up yet. We have seen Tofu, Naka, we've seen Isami now. Karen, Meat Bun, we have not seen Rhina, Morgana, Isami, and Ogre. So, Rhina's gem is the roulette gem. A little bit of randomness added to the match. Oh, $20 from Platinum Venus. Thank you! Says Happy Friday. A little bit of randomness. They function very similarly to Meat Bun's gems. And kind of internally, I think of the two as being a pair of sorts. When one of Rhina's gems lands, you cannot move it or speed it up in any way. You simply have to wait out the timer. Each one of the gems will spin for a random amount of time, and when the time goes up wherever the arrow is pointing, it will create a chain width. Which means if it ends pointing at a string of 6 blocks all the same color, it will destroy all 6 of them, giving all of those points back to Rhina. They can be difficult to deal with, and there's not a lot you can do about them. You can easily minimize their damage, though. And that is another win for Whim. Again, a close match. 15-point difference. So Whim is now 2 up. This is some guy's last chance. Of course, it's still not over. And these have been very close matches. Alright, all down, at least so far, to this. This may not be the very end, but if some guy takes 1 loss, that is the end of the entire tournament. So, Ogre against Yuki. So as I mentioned before, with Yuki, that is actually... Yuki forces your opponent to play high and becomes more dangerous the longer the match goes on. And some guy is actually quite good at playing high. And these being both relatively high-level players, I don't imagine a short match. So this is going to be interesting in that I feel like some guy will have a pretty easy time dealing with Yuki. And then we have Ogre, who we've seen before. And is one of the trickier gems to deal with. So some guy taking an early but not dramatic lead. Whim coming back. Oh, you know, I think I changed the Yuki gems so they actually work. They actually appear higher up more often, so you're not just play high and avoid everything. So some guy took an early lead. Whim came back and is still ahead, but not by much. Oh, the Yuki gems are piling up, though. It's getting very difficult for some guy to make matches that will actually give him points. And that is the win for Whim. I suppose also with higher level play, that means a lot more garbage was sent to the opponent very quickly. Which filled up some guy's side very fast. And then with the changes then, you couldn't just play high to avoid Yuki. But that is the win! In the grand finals, we have a winner. That is Whim Widget, taking out some guy for the win of the Tofu Topple tournament. All very good matches. All very good matches. Even in the matches where someone would go 3-0, every fight was a fight. Every one of them was close. And I think it's very admirable how everyone played tonight. So all of you pat yourselves on the back. You all did an amazing job. And thank you very much to you four specifically for all coming together for this, so we could actually have this grand final here for everyone to see. And a very special thanks to everyone that participated in this tournament. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch many of the actual matches leading up to this. But every one of you contributed to this tournament and made this something to remember. Thank you all very much. So with that said, with Whim as the winner, that means that Whim is the winner of the grand prize as well. which I have said I announced before, the grand prize winner is going to be getting their own character added to the roster of characters in the game. There are some limits on this for legal purposes, but mostly I want to work with you so we can design a character that you are happy with. We will be designing the attack gem for that character, and I'll be implementing it all into the game. I want you to be able to add the character that you want to add, though, for legal purposes, we cannot use, say, copyrighted material or anything like that. I recall someone wanting to add a fan Kamen Rider character, which unfortunately we couldn't do in that form. We could perhaps alter the character to not be copyright infringing. But, yeah. I want to work with you, and I want to come up with a character and an attack gem that you are happy with. This also means the character is going to get dialogue in the story mode. This will get you 2 different splash arts of your character. An environment art, the garbage gem, the dialogue, and a music track. Also, if you want to do, as Draco is saying, if you want to use someone else's character, you can, but that has to be done with their permission. Also, I should add, for legal purposes, once the character is added to the game, I'm not obligated to remove or alter the character. And you do not have the rights over any aspect of the game or the monetization of the game or anything like that. But yo, if you got a problem, talk to me. I'm a cool guy. Yo, Whim, some guy. Whim, some guy. Can we do a celebratory 1 quota match? Oh, and if anybody wants to play, the game is available on Steam. Most of you participated, so I'm sure you're aware. And if you want to try to find people to play with, I'm going to keep the Tofu Topple section of the Discord open. That's probably a pretty good place to just ping and go, hey, anybody want to play? Best 2. You know what? Let's do best 2 out of 3. Let's go. Best 2 out of 3. 1 quota. Quick draw. Oh yeah. Shout out to Hollis. who offered to buy copies of the game for people who wanted to participate. Alright, let's go. Some guy! If it's possible due to network latencies for both sides to think they won the one quota. It is possible, but I think host takes priority. Because the peer, if they win, has to send the note, like, or has to send the message to the host that they won. And if the host actually wins themselves anytime before that message reaches them, then the host wins. This is like latency stuff, though. This is like microseconds of time. Alright, round 2. Whim! I'm not sure what some guy was doing there. I think he meant to grab and then push left once and grab. Like, queued up the buttons. Queued up the buttons, but, like, miss-hit one of them. Alright, we're 1v1. This is for all the potatoes. And that's some guy! Winner of the quick draw. Well, some guy, you may not have won the overall tournament, but you won the quick draw. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating, and everybody for coming and watching as we finished up. It's been a great amount of fun. I have a lot of work ahead of me. I'm going to go ahead and head out for the evening. Whim, we will be in touch with each other at some point, I am sure. And we can figure this bad boy out. Thank you, everybody, and good night. And yeah, if I ever do this again, I'm not adding another character.